Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2019 mid-month general reading. So we're looking at the last 2 weeks of April here, the last half of April. Welcome to everyone here, any newcomers, first timers. Welcome back to any followers and subscribers, and thank you for taking the time to tune in today. And for those of you who send in your support and feedback and comments, and thanks to all of my clients out there as well, both my regular and new clients, for keeping me continuously busy with personal one-on-one readings. And as always, if any of you are interested in scheduling a one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more info and contact details by clicking on the description link below or going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on the little About button there. Please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I can usually respond to your initial inquiry within the same day or the first 24 hours with more info. And scheduling is pretty good too. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with both your schedule and mine to get you a reading as quickly as possible. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. All right, let's move into this reading. This is for the fire sign of Aries, for Sagittarius, the fire sign of Sagittarius for the remainder of April 2019, the last half of April 2019 for Sagittarius. So let's see what's in store. Gosh, I'm just stumbling over my words today. Let's see what's in store for you, Sagittarius, for the remainder of April 2019. If you know your rising sign, your moon sign, your Venus sign, watch those videos as well for additional clarification. General readings, as many of you know, can always resonate a little differently for everybody. Okay, Sagittarius. Let's see what's in store for Sagittarius, last half of April 2019. Okay, Sag, we have Justice, followed by the Ace of Cups, the King of Cups, followed by the Star. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and advice is the Lovers. So Sagittarius, I've done Leo and Aries, both the other two fire signs. I did those earlier today with several readings in between them. And it's interesting that there's some similar energies running in the fire sign readings so far, and the energies about making decisions and choices which are either about a primary relationship or situation or will affect a primary relationship or situation. Yours is pretty much the same. Your overall energy and advice is the Lovers card from the bottom of the deck, which is about a pretty passionate or pretty emotional, passionate connection in a relationship. Can be love and romance. It could be a different type of relationship. Could also be in job, work, and career. Although primarily you also have the Ace of Cups. There's a lot of emotional relationship energy here. So for many of you, that's what it's going to be about. The Lovers is about making a choice, a decision that is either about that relationship or will affect one. In the early tarot decks, this wasn't called the Lovers, it was called the Choice, and it showed a man standing in front of two women, or two women standing, or a woman standing in front of two men. The implication being that a choice was going to have to be made, and that choice is going to affect the lives of everyone involved significantly. This is not to say, I always clarify this is not to say that every time the Lovers comes up, it's about a three-party situation or infidelity or cheating or choosing between two partners. It may be that for some of you, but that is not a given. But it is about making an important choice, a relationship choice, or a choice that's going to affect a relationship. And the challenge, Sagittarius, is in knowing what the right thing is to do. Perhaps it could be about a new relationship connection that you've recently come into your life, particularly if you're already in a relationship. And it could be about what the right thing is to do, if any, about an emotional renewal within an already existing relationship. Because around the middle of the month, third week or so, although time is always kind of fluid and tricky in general readings, we have Justice and the Ace of Cups. So Justice is the karma card, the reap what you sow card. What you put into something is going to be directly reflected in the outcome. What we reap is what we sow. Justice is blind, which means that the outcome is dependent on your actual choices and decisions, not what we want, intended, thought, dreamed of, but what our actual choices and decisions were. So the cautionary advice with justice is doing the right thing, and being as open and honest and transparent as possible. Honor and integrity. What is the right thing, the ethical thing to do here? Because the outcome will be reflected in how you speak and what you do in this situation. Now, justice is clarified by the Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning. Aces represent the number 1, so those represent the start of something new, new beginning, a new path, or the opportunity for that. They are, if you will, like seeds. And seeds won't do anything if you just stick them in your drawer and don't do anything about them. But if you plant them and take care of them, then they will grow and flourish and manifest to their full potential. It's like the spark that if you take care of it, can be fanned into a flame. If you don't do anything, it'll go out, and if you blow on it too hard, it'll go out. So it's the opportunity or the beginning. Cups is water, it's emotional energy, and it's often about the emotional area of our life and the area of our life that deals with relationships. So for some of you, it could be new love and romance. For some of you, it could be that you may have met someone new recently. There's a new love and romance potential or opportunity or beginning in your life. The interesting thing is that if you're not already involved in something, or you don't have ties to something or someone else, what is all this heavy decision-making energy about? So for some of you, it may be that you're in a relationship and you may feel the spark or the beginnings of something with someone else. And of course, there is this ethical dilemma on what do I do? Justice and God's Spirit and your angels and guides are always about doing the right thing, making the most ethical choice, because that's actually what's going to play out in your life down the road from this decision. If you do something that's unethical or immoral, that's actually going to be reflected in, even if you're doing it to get what you want, that's going to be reflected in what you get as time goes on, which is why they say sometimes karma comes back and bites us in the tushy, So for some of you, this may be the dilemma. Others of you, it may be in what is the right way to go about having an emotional renewal in an already existing relationship. There may have been some issues, some struggles, some challenges. The relationship may have been through a rocky period. It may be in a rocky period, and you're trying to make this very important decision on what do I do? Is it even possible to have emotional renewal in this relationship? But what is the ethical thing to do here? What's the right decision to make for everybody involved, sticking to what I know to be true and good and right? I do feel, Sagittarius, like for some of you, I feel like for some of you, in the relationship area of your life, there's something already established. There may be an opportunity for renewal, whether you choose to take it or not, because the Ace, if it's not new love and romance, if this is how to start over new, or how to get refresh, or get a renewal, or a positive new path in an already existing relationship, does not mean that necessarily that you will take that. I think what you may be considering here, especially with all this heavy kind of choice decision making energy, is, okay, is it possible for an emotional renewal? Can we start over again, so to speak, have a second chance, moving forward? Is that possible? And if so, what would it require? And of what it would require, am I willing to do that? And if I'm not, or if I am, regardless of the situation, it's about being open and honest about that one way or the other. And trying to stay kind of emotionally balanced and cool in the midst of that as well. I don't mean cool as in, appearing aloof, but emotionally balanced, because next we have the King of Cups and the Star. So the King of Cups, this could for some of you represent the other person that is significant to you in this relationship. It could represent the King of Cups individual, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or somebody who manifests like the King of Cups, showing up as a king, but in general reading, I can't be gender specific, so it could be a female as well. Somebody who is emotionally loving, giving, nurturing, somebody who's a deep feeler and emotionally sensitive, but who doesn't wear their heart on their sleeve, because kings and queens have reached a mature point, and a balanced point in self-control and self-mastery over the character traits which are inherent to their suit. Cups is water energy, so the King of Cups, he's the king of cool too. He's an emotionally sensitive and emotionally in touch and in tune sort of person, but he doesn't allow his emotions to rule his life or make the decisions for him and yo-yo up and down. He's an emotionally cool person, and he can keep his head even when everybody else is kind of freaking out. The King of Cups is kind of the person who, when there's something going on or chaos or a situation or this decision that needs to be made, other people might be freaking out and running around like chickens with their heads cut off, but the King of Cups is like, okay, I'm feeling all these same feelings too, but what's the best and most balanced way to go about doing this? And he's sitting right next to Justice too, so it's about maintaining that emotional balance too, of not letting your emotions be the thing that rule you or base your decisions completely on those, because emotions are very fluid. They go up and down, and it's never good to fundamentally make life-changing decisions based just on emotions, because emotions are very fluid and changeable. So it's about kind of keeping that emotional balance in this as well, and not allowing your emotions to tell you, what is the right thing to do, because justice is not based on emotions. It's based on, setting those emotions to the side and saying, okay, here's the situation and what's the right thing to do. Now, the King of Cups is clarified by the Star, which is a beautiful card. It's about renewed hope, faith, and optimism. And renewed because it usually shows up after a period of darkness or challenge or sickness or battle of some kind. It reminds us to trust in God's Spirit, to trust in the path that we're on, in God's Spirit, your angels and guides, and trust that as long as you do all the right things, keep putting one foot in front of the other, even if you can't really see what's going on, that putting one foot in front of the other and doing the very best that you can, emptying your pictures out completely, that you're going to be taken care of and that things are going to work out for you. It's also another one of the wish fulfillment cards, but it's a wish fulfillment card based on, doing the work that's in front of you to do, trusting, and having this renewed sense of hope, faith, and optimism. And it's interesting because it's sitting right next to the Ace of Cups, which is a card of newness and beginnings. But the Star is renewed hope, faith, and optimism. And so again, with this Lovers and Justice, I'm getting this sense of a second chance or an opportunity to move forward in a new way, or have some kind of an emotional renewal in an already existing situation or relationship, perhaps it's gone through a bit of a struggle and a hard time. Let's pull an additional clarifying or advice card, because it looks like a bit of a tricky one, and again, it's got a similar thread to the other two fire signs that I did earlier today, Leo and Aries, about making this significant choice about a relationship that certainly has some difficulties and challenges, and may or may not be the relationship to stay in, but there's this almost soulmate kinetic connection to it, which has you feeling stuck. What do I do? This has more of a sense of a reconciliation or a chance at a fresh start or a second chance. Judgment just popped out. Judgment is one of the second chance cards, the phoenix rising from the ashes, the opportunity here. So it feels like, Sagittarius, there is a chance here, an opportunity. And we don't have to say yes to every opportunity that comes along, but it does look like there's an opportunity here for renewal in an already existing relationship or situation, which, if Spirit is showing it this strongly, means that there is a way to achieve this if you choose to do it, meaning, figuring out what needs to happen to make this renewal, and dedicating yourself and the other person too, to doing whatever it takes to have this second chance. The opportunity is there, whether you choose to take it or not. Free will zone, as I always say, we live in a free will zone. The Seven of Cups. Stay grounded, Sagittarius, throughout this, which I think this is a good accompaniment to the King of Cups. The King of Cups feels all these emotions from whatever it is that went wrong, the hopefulness and of perhaps being able to have a restart or start over again to kind of fix what's wrong and move forward. But he doesn't allow his emotions to be the thing that he bases the decision entirely on, because he's a king now. He's grounded in that. The Seven of Cups is that dreamy, illusionary, building castles in the sky, considering the potential and possibility of everything, how perfect, how beautiful it could be. Beautiful energy, nothing wrong with this energy, but there's always a cautionary advice with the Seven of Cups of being grounded and practical about this as well. Not allowing the emotions to rule the day on this. And as advice for how to make this decision, I feel like this is going to still continue to play out a bit. I don't think that for many of you this is going to be resolved, or that the decision will be made in the last half of April. It may be for some of you, but I feel like for others of you this is kind of an ongoing situation. The primary fundamental advice that's coming out, Sagittarius, I hope I just didn't say Aries for some reason. I think it's because the energy is so similar. This is for Sagittarius. I think because the energy is somewhat similar to the other two fire signs, but the fundamental advice, Sagittarius, is it feels very strong like there's a second chance here, but which means that there's a path for it. However, that path will probably take a fair amount of work, and you need to be honest and open about whether or not you're willing, and if the other person's willing to put in the work that it will take as well, because you can say no. It's not like anything horrible is going to happen. Different paths, different opportunities here, because whatever you know the right thing is to do here, whatever decision you come to, it needs to be made knowing that this is the truth of what you can do. Yes, I can devote it's going to take this work, and I'm willing to do this work. Or there's an opportunity, but you know what, I'm just not willing to invest what it's going to take. Because Judgment also represents that you're going to be you're responsible for what you choose and what you don't choose. I mean, you're responsible for your choices moving forward in this. If you decide that you're not willing to invest whatever it would take to move forward into this kind of second chance, then however that plays out, you're responsible for your own decisions, and vice versa as well. But it's about kind of maintaining that balance between the emotions, but letting the reality, what you know to be the reality, to also be the fundamental part of how you make this decision. Reality meaning, okay, just because there's an opportunity for a second chance, which means that there's a path to it, doesn't mean that that after looking at what it's going to require, that you're willing to invest that. And if you're not, then you need to be open and honest about that as well. So it's going to play out differently because it's a general reading and everybody has their own story. So, but the fundamental advice is there. Be emotionally balanced, be realistic about this. Don't let your emotions be the deciding factor here, and know what the truth is and what you're willing to do and not willing to do, and be honest about that, Sagittarius. Kind of an intense reading, again, for the fire signs. So Sagittarius, yours looks pretty important as well. So Sagittarius, I hope that this has been helpful and useful to you. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, particularly if this reading resonated with you, feel free to click on the description link below for more info and contact details, or go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the little About button there. Feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I do love and romance, of course, compatibility charting, career work and finance, as well as investment readings, 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in all the main areas of your life over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. I also do gift readings for friends, families, loved ones as well. So a few things to choose from. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That link is also provided. That's good for fast answers to the quicker, easier questions. More complicated issues, of course, a more traditional reading is probably best, but a few options in this technologically savvy world we live in. So I will see you all again, Sagittarius, in a couple of weeks for the May 2019 general readings. Until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.